The San Jose Sharks win the Oil Bowl. Now, two straight wins for your lovable loser Sharks. We're doing a live stream about it, baby. So, all that and way more on today's episode of Locked On Sharks.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, and I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network, we cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everyday, all you got to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts, or you can subscribe on YouTube as well, or do both, because we're doing a live stream tonight after the Sharks beat the Oilers 3-2. 2 wins in a row. Plan the parade, people. This just an absolutely amazing night as the Sharks looked like a real competent team. And even better, you get to watch Oilers fans just absolutely melt down, which is what you would call a good old win-win in my book. So before we dig into Hertl, Eklund, and why those guys should be literally sewn together for eternity. Talk about just everything that went on in this game, and then hear what you guys thought of the game. Do want to let you know today's episode is brought to you guys by Jace Medical. Empower yourself with the purchase of a Jace case, providing you a personal supply of 5 antibiotics that treat 50 or plus infections. Get yours today at jacemedical.com. That's JASE medical.com. And I got to start with Hertl Eklund. Hertl Eklund Zetterlund, who we've been waiting basically since the moment William Eklund got drafted. We've been wanting to see these Eklund and Hertl play together. And we've seen it the past 2 games. And I don't think it's any coincidence that as Eklund has gotten more responsibilities, the Sharks have looked better, right? Eklund started playing on the penalty kill. Guess what? The penalty kill has been good the last couple games. Tonight, you kept this. I know Edmonton is a tire fire right now, but still, they have Connor McDavid and Draisaitl and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. They have like a bajillion guys who we know that power play was literally the best power play ever last year. You held them to 0 for 4 tonight. And in a big spot at the end of the game, Eklund is out there killing the penalty. The Sharks, who have this is the first time all season the Sharks have scored 3 goals in a game. Hertl, Eklund, Zetterlund line, 2 of those goals at 5v5. It is no coincidence that as you give one of your best and brightest players more responsibility, that you're seeing the team respond for the good. I have just such a proud dad feeling right now watching my Swedish son just be awesome, right? He got an assist tonight on the Zetterlund goal. He did a bunch of the work getting the puck into the zone on the Hertl goal. Hochuk, congrats to him getting his first point as a Shark. Bounces off Zetterlund and Hertl's there, Johnny on the spot to slam it home. But it was Eklund creating, right? Eklund created that goal because of his ability to weave through and transition through the neutral zone and then find his teammates in the offensive zone. And then it kind of snowballed for there in the good, right? Eklund just winning battles, winning all along the boards and finding his teammates, right? Beautiful play where Eklund wins the board battle and he sees Hertl just kind of streaking down the side, hits Hertl. Hertl goes to the net and gets a good scoring chance. Like, it's no surprise that as you give William Eklund more things to do and put him in a position to succeed by putting him with good players like Tomas Hertl and Fabian Zetterlund, who looks like a completely different player than what we saw at the end of last year. This is what the player that all the Devils fans were like, you guys got one. You guys got a good one. You guys got a good one. This is what you were hoping to see. Just it's starting to come together, guys. You can see the pieces, and just wait till like a Will Smith comes over and his offensive creativity, and then maybe a Macklin Celebrini, and then even this season, right? Like imagine when Couture comes back and you can bump Granlund off the center second line. You can either put Granlund on the wing, you can put Granlund on the third line, like just you can start to see where like, okay, this is a somewhat capable NHL team here. And I would be remiss if I didn't go, we've already, if I didn't talk about Mackenzie Blackwood, who has just been an absolute monster for the Sharks. I went on, I was talking to Tyler from over at Oilers Nation. They offered a first round pick plus for Mackenzie Blackwood. And if you're Mike Greer, I think you're thinking long and hard about that, because Mackenzie Blackwood like looks like a dude. Like the Sharks have been in a desert looking for competent goaltending. And I know we are game 13 into the season or whatever, but you might have found somebody, Mackenzie Blackwood, and it's like finding a quarterback in football, right? You don't let those guys go because it's so hard to find them, and we've seen it right the last couple seasons. Martin Jones literally turning into a pumpkin before our eyes. James Reimer played well for bits and pieces. We've seen Capo Kakinen have his up and downs, but Mackenzie Blackwood, every time he steps in the crease, he gives you a chance to win, and he shut the door again tonight on the Edmonton Oilers. Especially at the end there, right? It is all hands on deck for the Oilers. They got a power play. The Sharks give up a goal, and Mikael Granlund, whatever on Mikael Granlund right now. We're going to focus on the positives. Mikael Granlund takes a bad penalty because Connor McDavid just gets a step on him. And yes, Connor McDavid gets a step on literally everybody. But Mackenzie Blackwood just shutting the door, like willing this team to win. And again, you have wandered the desert for basically half a decade now, looking for some sort of competent goaltending, and you basically stole it for a 6th round pick in Mackenzie Blackwood. And he has played great. He's only 26. He doesn't turn 27. He turns 27 next month. You could be looking at a foundational piece or an answer to your goaltending prayers here in Mackenzie Blackwood. So, yeah, I know that's the hot trade, right? Is send Mackenzie Blackwood up to the Oilers, get a 1st round pick. Maybe, maybe. I don't know, man. I'm probably just high on my own supply right now with the Sharks right now, drinking a little bit of the Kool-Aid. Again, I don't think this is going to like propel the Sharks into some sort of playoff race or anything like that, but it's just good. This is what you want to see, right? You want to see them at least be competitive night in and night out. And I don't expect them to win a bunch of, there's still plenty of issues, right? You can't keep giving up 40 shots a game. You need to work on having more sustained zone time. The bottom 6 has been a bit of a mess. But like the things you wanted to see, right? You saw William Eklund tonight literally pickpocket Connor McDavid, the best player on planet Earth. And I know he's hurt right now. You saw him pickpocket McDavid on a power play and get a shorthanded opportunity where if he had scored that goal, I don't know if I'd be here right now. I would have probably just raptured straight up into, yes, I would have lost it if Eklund had scored that goal. But you got to feel like, though, as Sharks fans, the plan is starting to come together. You can see the pieces. And once they continue to add some top tier talent on the blue line, get a top pick in this year's draft, like, you can see where things are going. And especially if Eklund continues to be the player that I know he is going to be, it's going to be great. So before we dig into the numbers and we'll start answering some of your questions and comments and all that fun stuff, here, let's just take a quick break and talk to you guys about our friends over at Parkview Advance. As a business owner, you realize that there are times when receivables might fall behind. That doesn't mean you need to fall behind on your vendor payments, payroll, or rent. For more than 25 years, Parkview Advance has helped businesses secure working capital from $5,000 to $1.5 million. Parkview Advance can improve your working capital in as little as 24 hours. It's much easier than you might imagine. We invite many entrepreneurs that are listening to Locked On NHL, like Locked On Sharks, to learn more by calling us at 203-675-0071 or go to parkviewadvance.com. If your business needs working capital, call Parkview Advance. Parkview Advance, helping businesses with their working capital. Go to parkviewadvance.com. And if you also run a small business, you're an army of one, right? You need a CPA, a bookkeeper, separate payroll solution, and more. Let Collective take care of the paperwork while you take care of business. Collective is the #1 financial solution for freelancers, contractors, and self-employed entrepreneurs that you focus on the passion, not your paperwork. Let Collective handle all the paperwork you dread, like corporate formation, compliance, taxes, bookkeeping, accounting, even payroll. The best part, it's a fraction of the cost of a CPA. Collective knows that if your business of one makes over $80,000 a year, you will find the most value from their services. So join the thousands of solopreneurs who have saved an average of $10,000 per year on taxes with their structure. Right now, Collective is offering 1 month free and no onboarding fee when you go to collective.com/lockedonnhl. Tell them Locked On NHL sent you. That's $550 value for free when you go to collective.com/lockedonnhl and tell them Locked On NHL sent you. That's collective.com/lockedonnhl and tell them Locked On NHL sent you. All right, so what did the numbers say for this game? And this was a game where the Sharks kind of hung in there, and then you knew Edmonton was going to make a big push in the third period, and that's kind of what they did, right? 5-on-5, Corsi 4. So the Oilers took 63 to 40 shots. Actual shots on goal at 5v5 was 28 to 17 in favor of the Oilers. Scoring chances, though, 29 to 22. So the Sharks continue that quality over quantity approach that we have seen from them kind of recently. High danger chances, 14 to 7 in favor of the Oilers. Again, when you have McDavid and Draisaitl, and they're making a massive push at the end of the third period to try to tie this game up or get back into this game. That's what to be expected. It's weird though, because it's a lot of actually the second period where the Oilers didn't get a lot of scoring chance or a lot of shots, but they were getting scoring chances. They had 10 scoring chances in the second period compared to the Sharks 1, which is a little weird to see. But again, Mackenzie Blackwood doing what Mackenzie Blackwood has been doing for the Sharks all season. So expected goals for 2.59 to 1.6. The forward lines. So forward lines got quickly blundered because David Quinn realized who his guys were in this game and which guys he needed to kind of ride this game. So they started out with Eklund, Hertl, Zetterlund. Then we also saw Duclair, Granlund, LeBanc, Hoffman, Sturm, Zadina, and then Smith, Carpenter, and Cunnin. Didn't take long until Cunnin jumped up onto the second line and LeBanc dropped down to the fourth line. So that's something to keep an eye on going forward. You guys know Luke Cunnin, not my favorite guy, but he was just interesting to see but let's get into like how some of these lines perform. So Eklund, Hertl, Zetterlund played 13-36, 5-on-5. That is David Quinn knowing who his best players are and putting them out there, because that has been, since that line has come together, that has been the Sharks' best line. 17 shots for, 17 allowed. Again, you're playing Draisaitl. They like Oilers went Draisaitl, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and McDavid pretty quickly in this game because they knew it was a must-win game for them to try to salvage their season. 6 shots for, 5 against in favor of the Sharks. 2 goals for, none allowed. Expected goals for 0.59 to 0.27. 7 scoring chances, gave up 6. 3-3 high danger chances. 10 defensive zone faceoffs. Hertl, who's been an absolute monster in the circle or in the faceoff dot this year. But that line was creating that type of offense, and they had 10 zone starts and 10 defensive zone starts. Hoffman, Sturm, Zadina played 9:06, 5-on-5. Good for Zadina finally getting on the board, because I know he's struggled. There was the rumor that he was going to get sat the other night against the Flyers. Came back tonight, had a goal. Great feed from Nico Sturm. 6 shot attempts for, gave up 14, 2-7 for actual shots. Expected goals is 0.08 to 0.82. That line did not get the goal. It was actually the Carpenter Sturm Zadina. Carpenter kind of jumped up there for a shift or two. And that's the line that actually produced a goal. Duclair, Cunnin, Granlund, 552. 3-7 shot attempts, 1-3 to actual shots on goal, 0.09 to 0.34 expected goals. Duclair, Granlund, LeBanc, 537, 4-9 shot attempts, 2-7 shots. So that second line got kind of worked a little bit tonight, but I still you can see Duclair, who has really kind of upped his game recently, and I really liked his game tonight, even though the stats aren't super supportive of the way they played. But I thought, especially very early on, that line was kind of really putting some stuff together and showing some nice chemistry. So then other lines didn't really play too much. I mean, it took 12 minutes until we saw the fourth line in the second period, because Quinn was just running the top 3 lines as much as he can. So then let's take our Mackenzie Blackwood appreciation moment here. So 41 shots, 39 saves, 2 goals allowed, expected goals against in all situations, 4.19. That is just another nice night for Mackenzie Blackwood. Faced 11 high danger shots, 10 high danger saves, mid danger shots, 8-7, and 22 low danger shots / saves. So Mackenzie Blackwood, man, he has been an absolute just beaut for the Sharks here. So we'll start some of your questions here and stuff. So what a game. Christian Miller, what a game it was. I've been very much rooting against the Sharks, openly, for the last, season or so, because of, again, long-term forward thinking of the Sharks. But it's just nice to have, when your sweet Swedish son is doing awesome stuff. It was great. So, awesome. Just awesome to see. Oilers are not very good. Yeah. They have a lot of, I think the big thing with the Oilers, they need to, Connor McDavid needs to get healthy. If he needs to sit a week or so, I don't know what their schedule is coming up, but Connor McDavid is just not healthy right now. And we've seen it before with our own goalies, right? Where they just have playing with no confidence, right? And just kind of expecting the worst to happen. So, we have watched it with our own eyes. So we'll continue some more kind of your comments. Make sure you guys are dropping them in the thing, and I'll try to get to as many as I can before my time runs out. But before I do that, I just need to take a quick break. and talk to you guys about our friends over at Jace Medical. So we spend a lot of time talking together. I get fired up talking on wins and losses, who sits and who starts, and who's in the lineup on what line, and all that fun stuff. And I'm thankful for that connection that you and I have, right? This is what makes this podcast work. But today I want to talk to you guys about something a little more personal. I just learned that you can get a 1-year supply on ED medications. You realize what that means? Bring on extended travel, bring on the next natural disaster or supply chain issue or whatever it is, you are covered, my friend. You don't have to worry about whether or not you can refill your generics for Cialis, Viagra. This is possible because of our friends over at Jace Medical. Go online right now at jacemedical.com to receive your 12-month supply of your daily medication. Remember to use promo code LOCKEDON at checkout for a discount as well. A verified customer had this to say about Jace. I'm thankful for the service. Supply chain issues caused me to cut pills in half to have it. I ordered most of my daily medicines with a year supply. I also ordered an antibiotic kit. I feel secure now. Prices are lower than local pharmacies, and I highly recommend this for everyone. So if you or someone you love needs some peace of mind by having a year's supply of any daily med, go to jacemedical.com to see if it's offered for you. Remember to use promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off your purchase. All right, we are back to answer some of your comments and questions and all that, and talk more about Slippery Pete. Hockey fans, get on board. It is Slippery Pete season. If you didn't know, now you know. It is Slippery Pete season. Bro, Mackenzie is a beast. Back-to-back wins from the W1. Like I said, man, you might have found something. I remember a lot of people being like, I don't know about Mackenzie Blackwood, and he is healthy right now. That's the big thing, is Blackwood is healthy right now. Let's keep him healthy. I like to keep mixing in Capo-Kakinen, right? You can't just keep riding. That's how he gets hurt, right? If you just keep riding Blackwood, as great as he's playing, and it's not like Capo-Kakinen has played terribly this year. I know we had the 10-0 game or the 10-1, 10-2 games, but like Capo-Kakinen has played pretty steady this year too. So Canoe TBC says Eklund is getting much stronger on the boards. His skating is better, getting better and tight. Yeah, you can see that work in the AHL last year. You can see it, especially if you watch Eklund. Like I watched as many Barracuda games I saw last year. You can see that hard work paying off. So Vinco, not hearing the nickname Zetterbust too much anymore. No, Zetterlund looks like a dude. Yeah, it is great to see that. Yeah. Canoe TV, I would love to take it first from Blackwood. I know. Especially if it's the Oilers first, and it is the way they're looking not super great. But at the same time, you stumbled upon a goalie. So yeah. Let's see. Blackwood's contract. So Blackwood did sign a 2-year deal. I think it's a little under 2.5 million, somewhere around that range. I'm pulling up Cap Friendly right now. So yeah, Blackwood's deal is at 2.35 million for this year and next year, and then he's a UFA after that. So you could continue to, I wouldn't give him like a 6-year. Do not give 6-year like contract deals. We've learned our lesson with that, but I would continue to see, just keep riding Blackwood right now, long term, not game to game. So Rick Roma, a Devils fan, says, I'm a Devils fan. We were the same way when it came to Blackwood, but he was always so consistent, injury prone. Also, you never in a zillion years would get a first for Blackwood. Have you seen Oilers are very, very desperate right now. Oilers fans are in it bad right now. So yes, maybe, especially with that contract. You never know. It would be pretty crazy to turn a 6 into a first. But who knows? So Austin Westbrook, how bad would it make Greer look, though, if he's the one responsible for firing up the team and then goes and trades Blackwood? I can't see it happening until the deadline. Yeah, I don't think if a Blackwood trade does happen, I don't think it'll be till later in the season unless a team is willing to overpay for him. That's where you get the potential really, really nice haul because the team is desperate for a quality starter. And Blackwood has been a quality starter so far this year. So, again, I think you got to keep riding it right now, unless you get like a Godfather type offer where it's like you can't refuse. So, let's see. How friend of the show, Hal Wilkins says, just thinking 2 years, we got Eklund, Smith, and Musty. Oh boy. That's too much. That's too much fun. Man. Yeah. So Gray knows what it means. So the W1 says Gray knows what it means to play Sharks hockey. We need a crankshaft on D. We're being physical and love sticking. Yeah. So they're working on that. They have plenty of like defensive dudes. I really like Ahochek's game tonight. Was really physical, was not scared. There's your crankshaft coming up right there is Ahochek. That guy was, yeah. I liked his game tonight. I really liked the way he played. So yeah, I was very, 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 very impressed with his game tonight. Robert last says Addison Ferraro combo scared me, both being smaller D, but they played well and I liked them together. Yeah, I like the Ferraro Addison combo. That was kind of my pick. I think their skill sets really match. I know they're a little bit smaller in statue and stuff, but I like their skill sets together. I think it's a very complementary skill set, and we'll see what happens when you're not playing like McDavid and Draisaitl, even McDavid, who's like 60% McDavid right now. Yeah, so I really liked Addison's game. You can see a little bit of flashes. I'm not going to try to put too much, especially when you got here last night and you're kind of thrown into the fire playing Connor McDavid and Draisaitl. And so I'm kind of holding off to grade Addison until he gets a couple practices and gets a couple games in. We'll probably kind of end of next week. Okay, now what do we think of Addison so far after you get a couple games? And so trying to hold off on this. And I know he's very excited about the opportunity. But again, we know how trades can be different for everybody. So I want to give him a little bit of time before I kind of start grading him. Zerker asks, are the Sharks cowards for acquiring a puck moving defenseman? No, I think it's a great trade. So yeah, not cowardly. They needed it. So yeah. Why? Asking why Berserker, Berserker and I are friends, so it's a good thing. Yeah. So if you're asking why he's cowardly, it's because everything is cowardly. So including this guy. All right. What are your thoughts on Celebrini, Yzerman, and we'll get into that. We will start sneaking some draft stuff in here, but right now we're trying to enjoy a win because again, one, you made the Oilers look terrible tonight, and I know that team will at some point get their stuff together because they're too talented. But at the same time, it's just nice to kind of you're no longer Sharks fans. You're no longer the laughing stock of the NHL, right? Especially after the last weekend where it was a rough weekend, right? You're no longer the laughing stock. Now you're just a normal bad team. Okay. And that's what we want right now. Just let's fly under the radar. We'll lose some games as long as Eklund's looking good. Eklund and Hertl are looking good. You have some bright spots to cheer about. And again, there's not the like dumb Shark stats of like, oh, look, Austin Matthews has more goals than the Sharks have goals this season. If we can start to move out of that era and just be a normal bad team, we'll be okay, Sharks fans. Yeah, tonight was fun though. Tonight was fun. And that's going to do it for me tonight on the live stream. Be back on Monday where we'll recap the Golden Knights and the Ducks game. Now, if the Sharks can win one of these games, we're going to have a serious conversation of where this team is headed because Golden Knights, I know they've lost 2 in a row, but that is a defending Cup champions. And the Ducks have been playing really, really well over the past couple weeks here. So if the Sharks can, we might have to have a conversation next week. But we'll have a full recap of that. We're going to start getting into a little bit. We're going to do some more prospect stuff here soon. Get some interviews lined up for you. Plenty of good stuff coming up. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and at Locked On Sharks. You can follow me on Twitter at MyFryhole. Until Monday. Bye, friends.